So we see our greatest value to you here today, and the greatest work that we do as we are playing with you, is to convince you of the reality of this vibrational beingness that has amassed and that is real, but that may be vibrating at a frequency where you can't yet see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, and that's why you don't believe it. It is so much easier to believe what's manifested than to believe what's pre-manifested. And this pre-manifestation, it is the precursor to all of this magnificent expansion. If we can convince you that you were source energy before you came into this body, and that the larger part of you still is source energy even though you're in this body. If we can convince you that as you explore the details of your life that you cause a vibrational expansion, and that the larger part of you immediately takes that expansion, is that expansion, has become that expansion, and is calling you to it. And if we can convince you that the way you feel is your evidence, in the moment evidence, of whether you're going with the expansion or whether you're holding back a little bit. To the degree that you feel bad, you're holding back. To the degree that you feel good, you're going with it. And if we can convince you that if you will just chill out a little, if you will stop looking at reality and letting whatever it is control your every thought, if you will allow yourself the hopeful conclusion that maybe there is a vortex and maybe my source is within it, and maybe if I just release thoughts, that source will call me into vibrational alignment, then it is our promise to you that your vortex will train your vibration upward. Because in the absence of resistant thought, you practice a non-resistant, totally allowing thought. And the more often you do that, the more easy it is to do it, until in time, and we're talking about a very short time, you will become a vibrational match to the frequency of your source. And when that happens, when you spend more time in this vortex, do you believe there's a vortex? Can you sort of kind of hear it? You get what we're talking about? You have to accept it. You're good, but you haven't figured out how to scrape enough dirt together to launch it into orbit. You gotta know there's something else going on. And as you acknowledge that there is this vortex of creation, and as you acknowledge that it is a vibrational frequency, and as you accept the reality of it and feel your way into it again and again and again, and once you're in it, you milk it. You stay there as long as you can until it's more natural for you to be in that frequency than to be in a resistant frequency that doesn't feel so good. What will begin to happen to you is you will begin to see and hear and smell and taste and touch inside the vortex. In other words, we're not saying to you that everything that manifests is outside the vortex. We're saying to you that you got to be in the vortex for the things you want to manifest. You got to be in the vortex for the things that you want to consistently and profoundly and chronically begin to manifest. You got to believe, you've got to understand your frequency. And the only way that you can understand your frequency is through your emotions. Do you get that? So what begins to happen is that you come to a gathering like this and you listen to us, and in many cases you trust us. We have a good reputation for telling you what's really going on vibrationally, and many people are benefiting and speaking about how much better their lives are. But really, friends, when it comes right down to it, words don't teach, and that's all we've got for you. Confirming words about what you are doing in terms of deliberate creation. And we can tell you all day, every day, who you are, that you were source energy, that you came forth into this physical experience, that the larger part of you remains non-physical, while this part of you that's in your personality that has come forth into this physical body. And as you explore and know what you don't want, you launch these rockets of desire, and the source within you holds to those rockets and holds steady the light, calling you eternally toward vibrational alignment with who you are. And when you move in the direction of it, you feel wonderful. And when you hold out and don't move, you don't feel so good. In other words, we're giving this to you all day, every day. But until you actually deliberately conjure a thought, deliberately go general from specifically negative, and feel the relief of it, and then witness with your own experience the manifestational difference between the specific negative that you were feeling and the general negative that you're feeling, until you've convinced yourself that a general feeling of negativity nets different vibrational manifestations around you, and then because you're on a roll, you go generally positive, and then you witness notice the improvement in what happens not tomorrow, not theoretically, not conceptually, not someday, not to somebody else, but to you right away. To you right away. To you right away. You'll begin to notice that everyone and everything around you is responding to the vibrational frequency that you are outputting. And when you get a whiff of that, when you begin to notice the hands-on manifestational effect, manifesting. What does that mean? That means what happens to you. It means who walks into the room and talks to you. It means what part of themselves they give to you. If somebody walks in and gives to you their ornery self, that's a manifestation of where your frequency is set right now. You say, oh, God, that guy is ornery. And we say, takes one to know one. It's active in your vibration, and it's a manifestation that's reflecting that back to you. That person was so much fun, takes one to know one. Things are going so well for me, takes one to know one. In other words, your frequency, how you feel, what's going on with you, is in your utter control. In the moment that you get it, that you don't have to respond to a current condition, you can conjure an emotion because you have the ability to go from specifically negative to generally negative to generally positive to specifically positive. And the manifestations will show you all day, every day, how well you are doing. Nice to know, isn't it?